Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all very much. Please be seated. Today I want to give a few remarks about education, primarily about teacher pay. Yesterday we had the National Teacher of the Year along with the State Teacher of the Year teachers here at this fabulous house, and what an honor it was to have these fine educators in the White House. Is awesome opportunity. I do want to talk about the teacher pay. I've had the good fortune to be married to a full time teacher for over 20 years. Andrea has served in classrooms as elementary teacher for those 20 plus years. Earlier in our marriage, she wanted one year she came up to me, she asked me about teaching summer school. And this is after teaching a full year of school. She did it at the time, she said she did it for extra pay. And at the end of the summer, as the fall term approached and summer school winded down, she was tired, not fully charged, ready to take on another 9 months of school. How do we solve a problem like Andrea's? Today, I want to talk about a plan that I believe will solve my wife's problem, as well as every other educator's problem in our great nation. And that's increasing teacher pay. I know you're going to ask, how are we going to accomplish this? How are we going to raise teacher pay with education budgets being so tight on the state and federal level? The first step we must do is return our federal budget to at least the 2019 to 2020 spending levels. Reduce unnecessary federal programs. And when I say unnecessary federal programs, there are a lot of programs that were put in place for the pandemic. We are in the post pandemic era. It's time for those programs to end. We will use the difference by terminating these COVID era programs. We will use the difference to help fund increased teacher pay. Now you're going to ask, how will you fund increased teacher pay from a federal level? And where states have, quite frankly, had the control over increasing teacher pay, my administration will see that grants and money are available to the state and local levels so that we can give the teachers a livable wage. That's the primary goal of the education policy that I'm working on. Secondly, we must return a true curriculum to the classroom. We must get rid of this so called woke education and return teaching to the ABCs, the history, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I don't know where that terminology, that definition came from. I'll say this: that I think in our nation's classrooms, we need to teach. Like I said, we need to teach the ABCs, the one, two, threes, the good, the bad, the ugly of history. Have we made mistakes in our country's history? Absolutely. I'm not going to stand up here at this platform, at this podium, and tell you the United States of America has never made a mistake. We have. And we need to teach our youth those mistakes. For if we teach them the mistakes we made in the past, they won't repeat them in the future. And you've heard me talk about this countless times when I talk about education. I talk about a high school teacher I had in particular that is very memorable and means a lot to me. His name was Bill Hickey. He was my government teacher and probably the primary reason why I'm up here today. Mr. Hickey never tried to instill his part his party's beliefs. He was from a different uh, political party than I was, but he never once put his agenda in front of his kids. His mission, his mission was to teach us how the federal government works, how a bill becomes a law, and he taught us a sense of patriotism. One of the other activities he did in our school, and I certainly wish we had more of these throughout our nation, we had what was called a Red, White, and Blue Club. Now, this club was made of members of all grade levels in high school, freshman all the way through senior. And our primary responsibility was to display a football size field American flag at every DeSoto football game, home football game. Matter of fact, we had the chance to do a couple of other events too that were quite an event for us back then. Our club got to be part of the first ever Dallas Maverick basketball game in Dallas when we unfurled that huge American flag at Reunion Arena at the first ever Dallas Maverick game. But being part of the Red, White, and Blue Club, being part of youth and government, being part of Mr. Hickey's class, instilled patriotism in me that led me to where I am today. You know, and what drives me to want to do so much more for education is Bill Hickey. Our country needs many more Bill Hickeys. You know, the classroom is really no place for a political agenda. We shouldn't be censoring textbooks. We shouldn't be censoring what we are teaching in our classrooms. We owe it to our students to teach them the skills to survive. We owe it to our students to teach them the history of our government in our country. We owe it to our students to instill in them a sense of patriotism. You know, there's going to come a time where the students in today's classrooms, and I think about it every time that I'm in the classroom, those students in that classroom are tomorrow's leaders. They're tomorrow's leaders. We owe it to them to prepare them for the next century, the next generation. Next time that you have the good fortune to visit a school, and I hope that a lot of you volunteer, if you get a chance, walk into a classroom. The kids that you see at those tables, at those desks, they're our future. They're our future leaders. They're our future senators, our future presidents, our future astronauts, engineers, scientists, bankers. They are our future. We owe it to them to give them a solid, nonpartisan education so they can continue to make this country successful. Thank you all very much. Thank you.